What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You're a child molester. Do you understand me? No.
Why do you say that?
Oh, gee, I'm a lot smarter than you.
Can we meet, to talk about this? Something we can settle out,
You send your child off to school to learn and taken care of when you're away from home all day. Parents trust their children's teachers to not only educate you, but could also be mentors that helped guide children through childhood. But that position of trust was lost inside the walls of a high school. It is within the halls of a high school, once a symbol of hope and opportunity, that this sense of security can be shattered, replaced by a chilling realization that the supposed guardians of our children's well-being may have other deep unthinkable intentions. Today in this video, we will present you some of the so-called teachers who have accused of sexually abusing their students. But before we dive into the video, please consider subscribing and liking the video to help the YouTube algorithm. Now let's get into it, starting with,
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now.
the voice you heard is a father demanding a response from his son's 6th grade teacher, Brittany Zamora, a 28-year-old teacher who was accused of molesting students. Former Goodyear teacher Brittany Zamora has been sentenced to 20 years in prison, the lowest possible sentence allowed for her crime, after pleading guilty to molesting a 13-year-old student. Zamora pleaded guilty to having sexual conduct with a minor, attempted molestation, and public sexual indecency for allegations that included sending naked pictures to her victim and asking another student to act as a lookout during at least one of the sex acts. A second student reportedly told police he witnessed sex acts between Zamora and the first student, and that Zamora also sent him naked pictures of herself. "I am a good and genuine person who made a mistake and regret it deeply," Zamora said in a Maricopa County Superior Court hearing Friday morning. "I lived my life respecting and trying to obey every law. I'm not a threat to society." She apologized to the victims, their families, and her own family. She told Judge Sherry Stevens that her actions were out of character and said she'd like to attend counseling. She said she plans to earn a new degree in prison so she can embark on a new career when she's released. She will be on probation for the rest of her life and must register as a sex offender. She will get credit for the 478 days. Zamora's 20-year sentence was what her attorneys and family asked for. Her attorney highlighted Zamora's lack of criminal record and a psychosexual evaluation that determined she had no sexual interest in children, but suffered from anxiety and depression. Zamora's mother Darlene Irwin told the court she thought it was actually the media and the public who were the monsters in this case. She said media coverage made Zamora seem more predatory than she was. Zamora lawyer Shifts blamed a victim in press conference. Guerra held a news conference shortly after the sentencing. Zamora's mother and a family friend stood silently behind her. She implied that the underage victim seduced Zamora and emphasized the fact that he was technically a teenager.
Good afternoon. Throughout the life of this case, there has been significant misinformation given to the public. Brittany has been wrongfully portrayed by the state of Arizona and the press as being a predator and has even been called a monster. I have represented Brittany Zamora for almost 16 months, and I can tell you that she is not a monster. Brittany is not a predator, and this was not between a young child and Brittany. This was a teenager. Brittany underwent a psychosexual evaluation, and she passed with flying colors. She is not a danger to society. There were issues in this case. For example, Principal Dickey refused Brittany's request to move the teenager out of the classroom. Brittany Zamora implored Principal Dickey to move him because the teenager had boundary issues and was obsessed with Brittany. I am not making that up. I learned that from Principal Dickey. All things that were outside of the evidence that probably you all received. The teenage family's attorneys filed the civil suit within hours of the issue coming to light to the police department. The teenager had 2 cell phones. He had multiple social media accounts for the same place. His family had Principal Dickey's cell phone number and would call him at any time they wanted to speak with Principal Dickey about his many behavioral issues. I see some of your faces frowning, but I learned this from Principal Dickey during a defense interview. The teenage boy was very aggressive. He even was very persistent in asking Brittany about her birthmarks, molars, or anything else that could be an identifiable piece of information. This was before the authorities were contacted. Now I'm going to read you the statement from Brittany. Good afternoon. My name is Brittany Zamora. Thank you in advance for hearing this statement. After going through the court process for the last 16 months, I can truly say that I have been unfairly treated by the state of Arizona. It is shocking to me how others are so quick to judge based off hearing accusations from only one side of the story. It was made clear to me that the state had already made their decision well before I was given a chance to prove my innocence in any way, shape, or form. Even after obtaining extensive mitigation, completing risk assessment, psychological tests and evaluations, and polygraph tests, all of which proved the highest degree of character, the state decided to turn a blind eye to all. I feel like I was used as a publicity act to gain attention that was often driven by money, motivation from several parties. I am here to tell you that I'm not a monster the media has projected me to be. I am kind, generous, responsible, and a caring person. I have always proven to be a person of great character, working selflessly to help people in countless ways, from setting up programs to stop bullying, to creating fundraisers for people and families in need. I have an amazing support system that I'm very thankful for, and I pray one day I can help others to avoid going through the same unfair process. I also hope that our society can learn not to judge each other based off the way that information is biasedly portrayed, because I know firsthand how it feels to be viewed as someone that you're not. Thank you. That is Brittany's statement.
However, the age of consent in Arizona is 17. Our second story starts with: a former Texas teacher has been sentenced to 60 days in prison for sexually assaulting a student for 3 years. Beginning when he was 13, the 32-year-old woman had pleaded guilty earlier this year to aggravated sexual abuse of a child under 14. She was sentenced to 60 days in prison on Tuesday. Harris County Judge George Glass also ordered Bodine to serve 10 years of probation. She also must register for life as sex offender and undergo therapy. The boy told investigators that Bodine befriended him by playing an online video game with him and later sent texts to him. The two exchanged explicit images and began having sex after he turned 13, he told authorities. Prosecutors and parents expressed frustration over what they said was a light sentence. To find out that she was only given 60 days, it's unbelievable, she said.
To find out that she was only given 60 days, it's unbelievable. And I think our community deserves answers for why that sentence was decided.
I think our community deserves answers for why that sentence was decided. Our third story starts with another Missouri teacher accused of sexually abusing teen after police see pictures of scratches on him. A Missouri teacher, Haley Clifton, is facing charges on accusations she sexually abused a student after a witness showed police pictures of scratches on the alleged victim's back that he said came from sex, court records claim. The student's father was also charged with child endangerment, with police claiming he knew about the alleged abuse and allowed it to continue. Haley Clifton Carmack, 26, was arrested in Texas on Friday and is charged with first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, second-degree statutory rape, sexual contact with a student, and fourth-degree child molestation. The Garden Ridge Police Department says in a Facebook post. She is awaiting extradition back to Missouri. Clifton Carmack, a former teacher at Lackwee High School, was allegedly intimately involved with a 16-year-old boy, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Department says in a probable cause statement reviewed by People. On December 7th, police say a student witness reported an inappropriate relationship between Clifton Carmack and the alleged victim to a school resource officer, according to the probable cause statement. The witness told police they had learned about the relationship after the alleged victim showed them pictures of scratches on his back, the statement says, and also claimed they had overheard a phone conversation between Clifton Carmack and the student in which he allegedly told the teen, "I'm out of state, but I can send you money, baby," when told it was his birthday. Clifton Carmack was previously spoken to about being too close with students by the school superintendent, according to the probable cause statement. Authorities also claim in the statement the witness said the alleged victim believed he was the reason Clifton Carmack's divorce went through. Police later obtained a search warrant for Clifton Carmack's phone and on December 22nd recovered messages between her and the student that discussed their alleged relationship. It is not clear if Clifton Carmack has entered a plea to any of the charges she is facing. A second witness told investigators that the student's father had been told by both the Clifton Carmack and the teen about the relationship, according to a second probable cause statement reviewed by People. The witness claimed to authorities that Clifton Carmack and the alleged victim used student lookouts while they had sex during school. The teen's father, whom People is not identifying in order to protect the victim's confidentiality, allegedly told the second witness that he didn't stop the relationship because he believed they would continue to have the relationship behind his back anyway, the statement says. The father was charged with first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, according to jail records. It is not clear if he has retained an attorney or entered a plea. Those we mention are just a few that caught the people's eyes. There could still be more. Please subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.